Shalom, Israel. Slovakia. This weather is crazy, man. It's been flipping on and off, meaning cold or hot. Cold and hot. Yeah. Giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakah Kadash. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle, elder bishops, great millstone. Much salutation to the brothers teaching word for the hopeful elect, soon to be elect, most high will. To the hopeful still elect, shalom, blessings. I asked Chat GPT, I asked, is proclaiming supremacy evil? And it says yes. Where is that in the Bible? Because it also says, and I'm going to read it, that is regarded as morally wrong. Proclaiming supremacy over other human beings based on race, ethnicity, religion, or similar identity is widely regarded as morally wrong. That's a damn lie. And all through the scriptures, the Israelites were they were deemed as God's chosen people, chosen nation. It says even in Deuteronomy 7:6 that, you know, Israel is a peculiar people and a chosen people, royal priesthood, paraphrasing, above all nations on the earth. If that was the case, equality would have been shown in America. If America was moral, but moral equality, moral has nothing to do with equality. Moral is actually, maybe I should get the root word, but let's just see what it says. I don't think that's in the scriptures, that word, but they do relate. Now I'm going to just say this right quick. I'll read this right quick. Does the Bible teach supremacy? That's what I asked Google. The Bible strongly teaches that the theological supremacy of Yahweh Shai and Yahweh, because they even call him Jesus of Christ. His name is Yahweh Shai, and his father's name is Yahweh. Over all creation, authority, and spiritual powers. So why wouldn't we be? Why wouldn't he set up a nation to represent him on earth as a supreme nation? And, you know, if you look at it the right way, and even in their perspective, like the Jewish people, the so-called Jews, the ones that call themselves Jews or not, they proclaim supremacy. They think they're special among all the religions, above all the religions and all the people of the earth. The so-called white man definitely, which, you know, they're the same people, but they definitely, the only difference is, you know, the elites, they have a secret brotherhood. They do separate themselves from the common Edomite, the common so-called white person on earth. So they exercise supremacy on earth above all these nations, above especially the so-called Black, Latino, Native Americans. Their royalty in other countries, England, you know, you have those princes, so to speak, Prince Charles, Princess Diane, those type of figures. Some of them passed away, some of them are still alive. I forget who's Queen Elizabeth. I think her name was Queen Elizabeth. She had just passed. They call her queen. But they exercise royalty in the public eye also, and they're printed on the front of magazines as royal figures. I've yet to see a Negro with a crown on his head on any kind of magazine or any kind of outlet. You know, we will, you know, express those terms among our own people, King of the South, king of R&B, queen of R&B, princess of R&B, a godfather, so those type of things. It doesn't, but it's not incorporated into the earth, into, you know, the, common life of man on earth. It says it portrays Yahweh Shai as supreme in salvation, creation, and the church, holding the highest rank. And that's so. However, the Bible does not teach human. And remember, it said he became lower than his brothers. He became poor for the elect's sake. He was in a humble position, with the so-called white man would never do. That's why he's not that body, and not that and did not represent that nation when he going up on the cross. He doesn't have that character and that spirit. He doesn't take lowly unless he's wanting to overtake you. It says that in the scriptures. However, the Bible does not teach human racial or gender supremacy. And it does. It tells you actually that the man, this is a lie. It clearly tells you that a man is over a woman, the head of the woman. Clearly it tells you that in the New Testament. Teach human racial. It says human, racial. I don't understand that. Human is your race. Whatever human you are, that is your race. That's why they call it the human race. But of course, if hue comes from human, the word hue, which is colored, and then man of color, man of melanin, maybe for a better word. So if you're not a man of melanin, man of color, you're not really truly human. I can understand that factor, but who you are as a human being is your your rate. Your race, because humans come from different nations. Depends on what nation you come from. So it clearly goes off, and then what did I say? And so I'll read a little bit more. At night, equal human worth. Most major moral and religious traditions teach that all humans possess inherent dignity. Claiming one group is superior implies others are lesser, which undermines justice and basic human equality. No, because you could be a supreme race and supreme people and still treat people justly. That doesn't mean just because you have superiority that you will treat the ones that's under you, that serve you, like rag dolls. Now, you might have a standard, you might have a law that, that is implemented into your kingdom that says, well, if you break these laws, then, you serve punishment. And it may be a punishment to death. And then the people will say, well, can we see the laws, and what are the laws? And, you might, as an example, you might express them, and they say, well, yeah, I don't agree with this. Can we change this? Well, if we go into standards of morale, which should be implemented in every kingdom and every human being, because at the end of the day, it seems like that's what humans want. They want to be treated fairly. A lot of these people that murder and kill, what have you, or on a rampage, they're triggered by something. They're bothered by something that probably has built up in them for a while to where they just snap. But you do have the Most High did say he created the wicked for the day of evil. So there are just people that are born to do what the Most High created them to do. Um, but like I said, superiority doesn't mean that you undermine justice and basic human equality. Historically, supremacy ide- ideologies cause harm. Well, people love America. That's dwindling down the drain, of course. But during the time of all this oppression and beating the so-called black man down, murdering the black man, murdering the Native Americans, the Latinos, and putting them in slavery. People were fine with that. Americans were fine. America is, freedom and liberty and justice for all that. That reigned in the ears and the hearts of people, even during the time and after the time that it was supposedly over. So, supremacy doesn't hurt your credibility as a kingdom or as a ruler. And of course, if you're a ruler and you're talking about supremacy, well, you're not going to rule alone. You're going to rule with your family, your brethren, because you'll lose a war. I mean, one man has never ruled. That's why we know it ain't only one devil on earth. There's many devils. There's many antichrists. And there's many nations. So you have to, say, well, what's fair? Well, let's go back to the moral codes. Let's go back to the Bible. And the Bible the Bible says one nation will fight against another nation. One nation is above another nation. It even says when one nation goes down, another comes up. When the Babylonian Empire fell, the Persian and Medes came up. And then after them, the Greeks and the Romans and so forth. Even into this very day, America, which is the last leg of Rome. So, it hasn't hurt Earth in the credit, the rulership, what do you call it? Rulership throne. I'm saying it wrong, man. But it didn't affect that. People are still ruling the earth. When one group claims inherent superiority, it often justifies mistreatment of others. Well, I mean, if they're doing the law and doing what the supreme being is telling them to do, there shouldn't be no problem. That's of course, if you have a righteous nation ruling. That's the thing. It says, let me get that scripture. I am not going to make this too long. When a wicked and authority, the people mourn. That's the thing. See, everybody draws from the picture of the so-called white man, unless it's the shoe is on the other foot. Then it's like, oh, let's save him. Oh, he's not that bad of a guy. But then when they judge other people's matters of how they live and what they say about how they live, they compare it to the so-called white man. Like, oh, okay, so y'all gonna be ruling over everybody else. Oh, so yeah, you're gonna be killing people for no reason, and you're gonna be slaughtering and sodomizing people and hanging people from there and burning them for no reason. You're gonna be, eating them and shit. Who said that? That's the so-called white man's BS. That's not that wouldn't be our reputation, and it's not going to be when we get into the kingdom as rulers. So, these people are oxymorons and they're hypocrites too, and they loose cannons with no wisdom, man. If that makes sense, but it says Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, I gotta, yeah. The people rejoice. So the people are happy. They rejoice. And that means all people, especially the people that are righteously ruling together as brethren, as family, as a nation. They're definitely going to rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. So that's the problem. That's the problem with supremacy. The ones that, if there's a supreme being, and if you, like the Most High, he said he can have mercy, and he can have mercy on who he have mercy upon. Uh, um, Compassion on who he want to have compassion. He's the Most High. If he tells us we're going to go into slavery, we got to do it. If he tells us we got to stay down here another, 100 years, we got to do it. We could plead and we could say, "Oh Lord, please hear us out." But he holds all the authority to make the final decision. So it's best that you pray for a merciful power, a righteous power, a power, a just power. The people are in authority right now over this earth. They are not just people. They don't serve justice. They don't. They're not righteous people. So of course, but nobody complains about that. They're trying to band-aid this place up and try to fix it up and say, well, it's not, we need to do better, but it's not so bad. We got a lot to work on, but I think we can do it. And this place is tipsy, topsy turvy. It turned completely upside down. Is there helpful America? No. Is there helpful the Edomites? No. Is there help for the other nations that they will be looked upon to be a just people to have equality with the royal people of God? No. So, who are those? The if they're trying to break this down to where it doesn't mean supremacy, they're crazy. Deuteronomy 7:6, and it says that in the New Testament as well. We are a royal people. I think it's in 2 Peter, might be 1 Peter, 2 Peter 2 and 3, I think. But let's see, royal. Let me just go ahead and put it in royal. It's written 29 times. Deuteronomy. I'll read the one in the New Testament right quick. 1 Peter 2 and 9. But ye are a chosen generation. You know what generation, the key word in the word generation is gene. So definitely a bloodline, definitely a certain kind of people of a nation. Not everybody to make up a gene. You can't have two seeds to represent one seed. I mean, to be, we explained that it can't be, you can't splice genes and try to put together and make some kind of crazy unknown seed. They're trying to. They do the gene splicing. They made the liger. It's only like one liger, which is a tiger, female tiger mixed with a male lion, if I'm not mistaken. And they call it a liger. It's only one of them, and he about to die any day now. It's unnatural. He's oversized. a royal priesthood and holy nation, a peculiar people. And see, they got people believing that this is a nation. These are states that are united by the British colonies. This is not a nation. You can't have China in here, um, Africans in here, Arabs in here, and say that they're all one nation. You know what the Arabs do and all them other nations? They come over here and make America's money, and they go back to their own country. They don't really plan to stay here in America, especially today. But if they have good housing and they're trying to escape from trouble in certain pockets in certain places over their own country, yeah, they will be over here. They will stay over here. But the whole China got over 1 billion people. They're not all trying to come over here to America. They're all not crying out on the news. They're ready to go to war. A peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praise of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. And it reiterates that in Deuteronomy 7:6. So there's nothing wrong with royal kingship and supremacy. Why is it not popping up? Let me see. I'll close out with this. So they're evil for pushing supremacy upon us, against us, and then saying it's wrong to exercise it among your own nation, your own people. That's evil in itself. We don't care if they exercise power within their own people. We understand when we see the Nazis, the Ku Klux Klan. We understand, and some of them might be Jake. You never know. Jake, because Jake hate a lot of Jakes hate Jake too. A lot of niggas hate niggas too, or niggas hate the righteous too. Deuteronomy 7:6, King James Version, says, "For thou art an holy people," and like I said, I read it in also. Did I read it in? I read it in Revelation, I think. For thou art a holy people, and to the Lord thy power, and the Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. That hasn't changed. And he does it through the elect now. So, you'd be like, well, that was back then. And no, it's an elect now. And that's why they target the elect, because we still profess not only the names of our power, Yahweh Yahushai, in the name of the Holy Spirit, but we profess that our nation is superior. And it even says Esau and Jacob, one is going to be stronger than the other, and the younger one, the older one, shall serve the younger one. That's supremacy. That's the younger Jacob being supreme, and it says Esau is the inner world, Jacob is the beginning of the fall of. That's supremacy, because you're on top. It even says in our curses that we shall be the tail, because we went off with the Most High, and they should be the head. We shall be the low, and we should get down very low. They should get up very high. That's a state of supremacy. When you above, no matter if you don't even have to say anything. If it's a rich man coming in the quarters, or any dormitory quarters or whatever, and he's coming to make a speech, he's already established, and he already has his friends and colleagues or whatever. And it says this in the scriptures, that they'll let him speak, and they'll say, sit thou there, in a good place. And they'll say to the poor man, sit thou there in a low place, paraphrasing. So they giving that rich man, a comfort of, his superiority, his you know, and he doesn't even have to act supreme. He's just in a higher place already. It doesn't even really have to be a better position morally, inwardly, but the way it's exercised up on this earth, he's better than the poor man. So is Michael? I always use Michael Jordan. He's kind of an old case, but any of these celebrities, you know, they're better in the eyes of the public. They're better than us, you know. So they're more in the eyes of the public and the people and the fans and the idol worshippers. They're more supreme. They're supreme over us, you know. So if you go to if you take your girl to a concert, and pretty sure we don't do it, but any brothers do that, but for the common man, you take your girl to a concert, she's screaming and trying to, get to Chris Brown, Usher, whatever, and Usher and Chris Brown end up touching your ladies behind you, you knock them out or you swing at them, they're gonna stop you. Even the fans are gonna tackle you and shit. And you know what they're gonna tell you? Hey, that's fucking Chris Brown, man. Who the fuck are you? Or you try to get in and try to be, hey, let me in, man. My girl's in there. Hey, where's your pass to get in, or where's your, well, my lady's in there, man. So you gotta wait and shit. Do Chris Brown know you? Do Usher know you? Do so and so know you? So, that means to them you're nobody. But that's just how the cards play out until, of course we wouldn't get caught in that situation. I'm pretty sure, because we don't engage in those kind of things, man. The hell with these celebrities. But, for our part, as far as, being overlooked, not considered as princes, not considered as anything important, especially in this American fabric and this American in the American way, even though we're the true people that proclaim justice, we're the true people of justice, of righteousness, but we'll be the first ones to get kicked out of any kind of place. Even in America, they want us gone. Like, go back to, yeah. So, yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, we're gonna see. It's gonna play out. But there's nothing wrong with supremacy, man. I think I made a video about this before. Anyway, hopefully it's edifying to the next video. Shalom.